We're going to continue in family, friends, fidelity, and we're going to go back to Proverbs 13:17, but I'm going to start off with chapter 14. And we'll read it out of a familiar translation, and then we'll hear it from another perspective. Every wise woman buildeth her house, but the foolish plucketh it down with her hands. He that walketh in his uprightness feareth the Lord. But he that is perverse in his ways despiseth him. In the mouth of the foolish is a rod of pride. In the mouth of the foolish is a rod of pride. But the lips of the wise shall preserve them. Where no oxen are, the crib is clean, but much increase is by the strength of the ox. A faithful witness will not lie, but a false witness will utter lies. A scorner seeketh wisdom and findeth it not. A scorner seeketh wisdom and findeth it not. But knowledge is easy unto him that understandeth. Go from the presence of a foolish man, when thou perceivest not in him the lips of knowledge. The wisdom of the prudent is to understand his way, but the folly of fools is deceit. Fools make a mock at sin, but among the righteous there is favor. The heart knoweth his own bitterness, and a stranger doth not intermeddle with his joy. The house of the wicked shall be overthrown, but the tabernacle of the upright shall flourish. There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. Even in laughter, the heart is sorrowful, and the end of that mirth is heaviness. The backslider in heart shall be filled with his own ways, and a good man shall be satisfied from himself. The simple believeth every word. The simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his going. A wise man feareth and departeth from evil, but the fool rageth and is confident. He that is soon angry, Barry, dealeth foolishly. He that is soon angry dealeth foolishly, and a man of wicked devices is hated. The simple inherit folly. The simple inherit folly, but the prudent are crowned with knowledge. The evil bow before the good. The evil bow before the good, and the wicked at the gates of righteousness. We'll go over that from another translation. The poor is hated even of his own neighbor. The poor is hated even of his own neighbor, but the rich hath many friends. He that despiseth his neighbor sinneth. He that despiseth his neighbor sinneth, but he that hath mercy on the poor, happy is he. Do they not err that devise evil? But mercy and truth shall be to them that devise good. In all labor there is profit. In all labor there is profit. But the talk of the lips tendeth only to penury, which is another word for poverty. The crown of the wise is their riches, but the foolishness of fools is folly. A true witness delivereth souls, but a deceitful witness speaketh lies. In the fear of the Lord is strong confidence, and his children shall have a place of refuge. The fear of the Lord is a fountain of life. Let me read that again for Emmanuel Worship Center. The fear of the Lord. The fear of the Lord is a fountain of life, to depart from the snares of death. Now we're taught something else. In the multitude of people is the king's honor, but in the want of people is the destruction of the prince. He that is slow to wrath is of great understanding, but he that is hasty of spirit exalteth folly. A sound heart is the life of the flesh, but envy the rottenness of bones. He that oppresseth the poor reproacheth his maker, but he that honoreth him hath mercy on the poor. The wicked is driven away in his wickedness, but the righteous hath hope in his death. Wisdom resteth in the heart of him that hath understanding, but that which is in the midst of fools is made known. Righteousness exalteth a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. Any people. Any people. The king's favor is toward a wise servant, but his wrath is against him that causeth shame. Let's hear it out of another translation. Please give an ear. Every wise woman builds up her home, but a foolish one tears it down with her own hands. And I'm going to add mouth. A person with upright conduct fears Yahweh, but a person who is devious scorns him. From the mouth of a fool sprouts pride. From the mouth of a fool sprouts pride. From the mouth of a fool spouts pride. But the lips of the wise protect them. Where there are no oxen, the stalls are clean. That's true. But much is produced by the strength of an ox. An honest witness will not lie. An honest witness will not lie. But a false witness lies with every breath. A scoffer seeks wisdom in vain. A scoffer seeks wisdom in vain. But knowledge comes easily to someone with discernment. Keep clear of a fool. Keep clear of a fool. Keep clear of a fool. For you won't hear a sensible word from him, and I'll add her as well. The wisdom of the cautious makes him know where he is going. The wisdom of the cautious. The wisdom of the cautious. What are we taught about fear? We're almost taught that you're not supposed to have fear. And I'm not going to start a fight, but we've been taught that. The wisdom of the cautious makes him know where he is going. The wisdom of the cautious. You see, there's nothing wrong. When it comes to the Most High, we should fear him. I know, church, we like to say in church, we should reverence him. And most of us will say, well, I fear no man. Especially other men like to say that, because he puts his pants on one leg at a time, just like I do. But, a man can do some damage. He can take your life. But the Most High can make it as if you never existed. You want to tread lightly in the presence of an entity that can do that. The movement we've been in and, have had a lot of teaching has inaccurately told us, you don't have to fear. Fear is an emotion that was given to us by the Most High for a reason. Everything that we've been given by him, it's for a reason, and we need to find out what is its proper use. A lot of doctrinal teaching has gotten us confused. And in this time, I'm going to encourage you, find out what your maker says. Get in this thing and dig deep. Look for what he says. You'll be better off in your life, in the choices and decisions that you make. And just ask, hey, Father, what say you? The wisdom of the cautious makes him know where he is going, but the folly of fools misleads them. Guilt offerings make a mockery of fools, but among the upright there is goodwill. The heart knows its own bitterness, and no stranger can share its joy. The house of the wicked will be destroyed, but the tent of the upright will flourish. There can be a way which seems right to a person, but at its end are the ways of death. Even in laughter, the heart can be sad, and joy may end in sorrow. A backslider is filled up with his own ways, but a good person gets satisfaction from himself or herself. One who doesn't think, now I didn't write this, one who doesn't think believes every word, but the cautious understands his steps. A wise person fears and turns away from evil. Wait a minute, what that word keep coming up? A wise person fears and turns away from evil. But a fool is reckless and overconfident. Reckless and overconfident. Reckless and overconfident. He who is quick-tempered, Barry, he who is quick-tempered does stupid things. Now, again, I didn't put that word stupid in there, but you all have heard me use stupid. I'm just reading. He who is quick-tempered does stupid things, and one who does vile things is hated. Here we go again. Thoughtless people inherit folly. Thoughtless people inherit folly, but the cautious are crowned with knowledge. The evil bow down before the good, and the wicked at the gates of the righteous. Give an ear. The poor are disliked even by their peers, The poor are disliked even by their peers. But the rich have many friends. He who despises his fellow sins. That's the way that should be read. Most of us, the way we learned it, we will say, he who despises his fellow sins, thinking that if you despise your own sin, no. If you despise your neighbor, if you despise one another, that's a sin. That's what that's saying. But he who shows compassion to the humble is happy. But he who shows compassion to the humble is happy. Won't those who plot evil go astray? But grace and truth are for those who plan good. Now, again, I didn't write this. In all work, work, there is profit. But mere talk produces only poverty. The crown of the wise is their riches, but the folly of fools is just that, folly. A truthful witness saves lives, but a liar misdirects. That's a tactic. It's called misdirection. If I'm doing dirt over here, I do something with this hand to get your attention over here while I continue doing my dirt over here. Happens all the time. Some people are real good at misdirection. In the fear of Yah is powerful security. For his children, there will be a place of refuge. Again, the fear of Yah is a fountain of life, enabling one to avoid deadly traps. We all could and should be a little more cautious. We should be cautious about what we say, what we prophesy, what we pray. A king's glory lies in having many subjects. If the prince's people are few, it is his ruin. Barry, being slow to anger goes with great understanding. Being quick-tempered makes folly still worse. So even when you're in a situation and it's clear you're dealing with a fool, to become ill-tempered, ill-mannered, you just escalating the situation. Earlier, we heard it said, stay clear of a fool. You can speak to them, hey, how you doing? All right. Hey, how's the family? All right. But keep it moving. Or, because we in church, praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Keep it moving. Saints, given here, a tranquil mind gives health to the body. A tranquil mind gives health to the body. But envy rots the bones. And envy, jealousy, they're in the same vein. Rots the bones. Having issues with people and you don't resolve it, rots the bones. The oppressor of the poor, it says here, insults his maker. But he who is kind to the needy honors him. The wicked are brought down by their wrongdoing. The wicked are brought down by their wrongdoing. But the righteous can be confident even at death. Now that should give us some solace with all of what's going on. Wisdom is at rest in a person with discernment, but in fools it has to call attention to itself. Righteousness makes a nation great. Righteousness makes a nation great. Righteousness makes a nation great. Not a slogan. Selah. But sin degrades any people. So it doesn't matter what nation you in. A king shows favor to a servant with good sense. Let me read that again. A king shows favor to a servant with good sense, but his wrath strikes one who shames him. Let's go back to Proverbs 13, 17, and we'll continue on. 13:17, a wicked messenger falls into evil, but a faithful envoy brings healing. Poverty and shame are for him who won't be taught. Poverty and shame are for him who won't be taught. But he who heeds reproof will be honored. Desire fulfilled is sweet to the soul, but turning away from evil is abhorrent to fools. Listen to this. Remember earlier it said, avoid a fool, stay clear. Listen to this. He who walks with the wise will become wise. But the companion of fools will suffer. Now, in our circle of friends and acquaintances, some, they could say, well, hey, let's go shopping. Or let's go out to eat. No problem. Because they know how to conduct themselves. But sometimes in that group, there's one that seems to, more often than not, have a problem with everything. You ever been in a restaurant and, you're out, you're trying to have a nice evening, even if it's a lunch or whatever. And I don't know what it is, and particularly if you see a group of ladies, and the Most High help that server that comes, because in that group, somebody's going to give her what for. And I don't know why we do that. I don't know why we do that. I have witnessed that more often than, I'm like, what is the, why do we treat people like that? I clean up movie theaters, and I clean up restaurants, and they got a bar in them. So yeah, I'm the pastor that go to the bar every day. That's right. Yes, I'm in there every day. And of course, when I get to those kind of places, the people are coming out, and but you see people, somebody in the group wants to make a scene. And I'm like, what? This person is just they're trying to earn a living. And the same thing with shopping. You get a group of them. They got 50 cents between all 8 of them. They at the sale rack, which nothing wrong with that. That's smart. But again, it's always one in the group, why do we do that? You think about it. You work for a living just like they do. Why does someone have to be ugly or try to belittle the person? And God help them. If she happens to be more attractive than the whole group, she really gonna catch it. Why do we do that? Same thing with some of the fellas. You go out and the one that caused the most problems, somebody gonna have to pay his bill. I'm like, why can't we just go somewhere and just be decent? Just be decent. My nephew was telling me that he was in a restaurant, and guy came in and he was loud and I guess he was having a bad day. And occasionally we have them. But it's not everybody else's fault that you're having a bad day. And he was out with his lady friend. And it was a lot of older couples in there. And the guy was real loud, and he started using profanity. And of course, the older couples, you know, the men probably wanted to say something, but their wives was probably saying, you know, he look a little too young. You ain't 18 no more. So after, this went on, and the management didn't say anything, And so finally, he had just had enough, and he said, hey, man, why don't you just shut up? And my nephew, he's got a bad trait like me that we both need to work on. But I knew when he told the guy, why don't you shut up? He really wanted the guy to react negatively. But the guy didn't. He quieted down. And so that was a teaching moment for me, because I was on the inside, I was like, yeah. But then I realized, hold it. I said, now, listen, man, that was good what you did, but you really was ready. He said, yeah, I was. He said, I was ready to fight. But the guy quieted down, and one of the couples, when they was leaving, the wife of one of the couples, she came over and she thanked him. Because they was like, man, the way this guy was carrying on, they probably thought he probably would have started beating people up. But that's no way to carry yourself. Why do we want to ruin it for everybody else? It ain't about us. It's not about us. And again now, and I'm not one to, I don't like to kick America mainly because I live here, but this country produces that kind of attitude. Me first. I come before you. I'm the most important person in here. No, we're not. None of us are. We really think it's all about us. And unfortunately, that thing has gotten so to where we actually think we can tell the Most High what to do. We think we can pray a certain way, and He's got to respond. No, He does not. We need to be careful in the United States, because we really think we the stuff. I don't care what profession you're in. We think we're great. And we think we don't stink. But we do. But don't feel bad. The other countries do stink too. That's why we got what we got right now. And it's funny sometimes talking to other believers because, God won't do this, God won't do that. Wait a minute, hold it. Think about what you're saying. I scratch my head. Real faith is knowing that He will do as He will. Whether we agree or whether in our reference books, wait, hold it, you can't do that, God. Let me go check. That's where we are. It's like, let me consult my library. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? What is it, Dumb and Dumber? Saints, yes, we need to reverence Him. But don't let a lot of doctrinal teaching that we've had put in us you need some fear when you approach him. Don't think you're in as well. He makes that determination, not us. I don't care what rabbi, what preacher, pastor, not their call.
Most of us in here, truth be told, since you have your mask on, and I don't, so you don't have to answer. So heaven, we're recording. They didn't say anything. Of course, now you do know heaven know what you're thinking. Amen. But that's all right. Heaven will record. They didn't say anything. Go Big Mouth Barry.
It's not working. Oh, the battery died. Y'all pray for the battery. Okay. Saints, yes, this has been a trying time for us, but you know, this has also given every one of us an opportunity to get closer to the Creator. For real. And I mean, and begin to kind of divest yourself of what you heard and some of those DVDs and CDs that you bought. Set that off to the side and just get your books and just sit there and get back to just the basics. Just the basics. And what we hear, it'll be a little different because, see, at the end of it all, I've said to you before, it appears, because I'm working on stop sounding like I know him that well. He knows me better than I know myself, but I don't know him that way. And see, I've come up in situations where people they project that thing like they really, like they in God. It will never happen. It'll never get this way. The creation never will equal the Creator. It's His show. Saints, we got to start reading the lines that He gave us. Some of us have taken somebody else's, the role when you do a movie, the script. Some of us have taken somebody else's script, and we're reading their part. And we can't figure out, why isn't this working? It ain't working because that wasn't for you. And now you're embarrassed. You can't return it. You can, but you won't. Your pride won't let you. But some of us are reading somebody else's script. And we're wondering, why isn't this working? Listen, don't let this time go to waste. A lot of lives have been lost. And again, for those that, still thinking a certain kind of way, that's fine. So whatever the numbers are, cut it by 90%, and I still say that's too many lives to lose. Okay? So, stay in your folly if that's what you want to do. But I will say this health crisis, which has become an economic crisis, is still giving every one of us a time to get in contact with the one that made you and ask him, Father, help me with my part in this. Not, I know I didn't do anything. Yes, you did. Every one of us are guilty as he sees it. Every one of us, regardless of what position or whatever you call yourself. We, the people that say they are people of faith, we need to find out from our Maker, what is it that he wants? In fact, I remember when one of those floods came, somebody put up a sign, and they were asking, and the sign said, God, now what? And now some people would see that and say, well, that was arrogant. No. Listen, you remember when you were little and your parents told you, stop doing that, stop doing that, stop doing that, and we just kept doing it anyway? And then, we got spanked or hit or whatever. I mean, I know nowadays they call social services, but they corrected you. And the correction wasn't good. It didn't feel good. But after a while, what you do, you're going to work your way back over there, and you kind of want to they might be reading or watching TV or something. You might just kind of get over there, and just kind of get near them. And what happens? Eventually, they can, all right, they bring you in, let they know, I still love you. But when I tell you this, don't do something, don't do it. Just a thought, perhaps when something comes on the earth that is for a period of time affecting all the nations, wouldn't somebody say, Father, what would you have us do? But instead, we started it's their fault. It's this person's fault. Then you got, I'll be respectful, leaders. And of course, now they think, wait a minute now. What have they done now? Oh, now it's they? You are part of us too. We all got an F. I'm using it as an analogy now. I don't mean we get an F and we're doomed. No. But there's no other entity in existence can do what he did and affect everything. Not the devil. Not the devil, even if the devil is used as a tool. See, when you talk about faith, real faith, not what we've been trained, He created this. He made this. He's running this. He's running it. And so take this time and you go to him and ask him, and please, not if, you did. Don't do one of those. Well, Lord, if I did, you did do something. Oh, gee whiz, stop that. Just say guilty. Now, Pop, this is tough. I can't take much more. He's not gonna, he doesn't get shook up even when we mad. And it's funny to watch some believers, because they say, well, I'm really mad, but blessed Lord, thou, all of that kind of stuff. Like he don't know you really upset for real. Like he don't know that really secretly you think, well, you ain't fair to me. And that's another thing, the word fair. He's better than fair. And see, what may seem unfair to creation, that's not the same thing to him. Hey, my thoughts aren't your thoughts. My ways aren't your ways. So why do we keep trying to act like I understand the ways of God? No, you don't. Come on. Oh, it gets kind of scary sometimes. Because, see, we should know better. But I've said it before, and I wasn't being ugly. We all have been exposed. Every one of us. And to borrow the terms, and that includes the sinners as well as the saints. We've all been exposed. Who we are, every one of us had an opportunity to show it. Now, the good thing is, you can change. You can incorporate wisdom and start making better choices. You can incorporate wisdom and thin out some of the crowd that you're hanging out. Get rid of them knuckleheads that's in your circle of influence. See, because unfortunately, a lot of us are thinking, well, I'm just going to do this because, some of me going to rub off on them and some of them going to rub off on you. It's more important now, folks, who you spend a lot of time around. This is a time for us to really take a personal survey. And I, again, at the onset, I said, hey, take a look at yourself. I don't know if anybody remember that. And again, I'm not saying it's like I'm some wise sage. Hey, I was afraid just like everybody else, and still am. I still have some concerns because I'm not bringing up anything because I'm not here to make anybody feel bad, or I want everybody to be informed. But I really want people that look like me to be informed, because so often the right kind of information don't find our neighborhoods. See, we all just witnessed some of the very people that's hitting us in the back of the head with a 2x4. We believe everything they say come out of their mouth. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Come on. Not only smell the roses, smell the coffee. Stop believing everything. Remember, I said, consider this source. Where is this stuff coming from? What's behind this? Because people were, until he shut everything down, people were trying to guide you where they want you to go, not where he wants you to go. And all of us got to find out, well, what do you want me to do? And I'll tell you this, 3 minutes. One thing this thing has done, and we'll pick up, I know I didn't even get into 14. What this thing has done, it has caused those that are really serious. And listen, you can enjoy life and be serious too. Okay? But what it has done, it has forced most people to start saying, well, wait a minute. Why do I do what I'm doing? Well, I go to work because I need money. I need to pay my bills. Well, Barry, why were you going to church? Because your daddy a preacher? That had something to do with it. But a lot of it had to do with what I generally accepted over the years. And so I began to question why I was doing what I was doing in every facet of my life. And I tell you, it was quite interesting, and I know I'm not the only one. It's been real interesting. A lot of people, and when I say people, now I'm talking about, and again, I'm going to borrow another church term. Now I'm talking about a lot of lay people are looking at some things, and I mean, well, we already know some leaders got some explaining to do. And that's on them, that's for them. I hope it works out. But a lot of people have begun to question everything that they're doing, and is it really necessary? And is where I am a result of the way I've been thinking, believing, living, and am I satisfied with that? Now, you don't have to answer, but those are honest questions. Because when things get a little better, if we use wisdom, and they will if we use wisdom, they'll get better if we use wisdom. They'll get better, and here's another tidbit. It might be good if things don't go back to the way they were. I'm just saying. Implement wisdom. Particularly his wisdom. Conventional wisdom can keep you out of a lot of trouble, but his wisdom will help you through the troubles because, again, all of us got some challenging days still ahead. But take wisdom with you. And just be honest. Listen, it's nobody but you and your maker. And so he knows where all of our skeletons are. He does. And he's still for us. But take this as an opportunity to really come clean. Not just come clean as far as people can see, but come clean as far as the one that made you can see. Which, yeah, and that way he won't have to call those things that be not as though they were in your case. In other words, Barry, you just a good little boy. Well, I'm not holding out for that. I already know what a scoundrel I can be. Okay? And like I said, and I'm going to close with this, we can't change the way we were, but we can change the way we are. God bless you. Pastor.